I'm not a fan of the current market when it comes to sports cards. So I worked at my local card shop for a little over 2 years, and over those little over 2 years, I've learned a lot from when I first started at the beginning. Back then, I didn't know about sets of cards. I didn't know about the different parallel when it comes to sports cards. I didn't even know how to comp the prices of my own cards. I knew nothing. Now, recently, it was announced that my local card shop, or LCS so we can condense it, was closing and I was out of a job basically. And in my professional opinion, the reason to blame is I'm gonna put it all on Topps and Fanatics. So when I first started up until April 1st of 2026, Panini, the company Panini, had the NFL license, which means they could put the NFL shield and all the other team logos onto the card. If you don't have the license, you can't do that. And with Panini, we at my LCS that I worked at, we had a supplier that we could get product from. Now, it wasn't a ton of product, but it was enough to keep this shelf stocked and all that jazz. Now, on April 1st, 2026 this year, Topps took over the NFL product. And a couple months earlier, they took over the NBA license as well. So Panini had nothing. They don't have football, basketball, or baseball. Topps has all three. And with Topps, we don't have that supplier. We didn't have that supplier anymore, so we could get those boxes easier. Basically, we were like everyone else. We had to get online at a certain time, usually at 11 my time, and try to pre-order the product. So we're against every other person and every other bot, and we couldn't get product a lot of times. A lot of hit and miss, a lot of misses. And with us not getting product, our shelves started looking a little emptier. Because at the LCS I worked at, we didn't want to gouge prices. We didn't want to have to buy a product for 300 then sell it for 350 to 400, basically to make a little profit. Now, getting product is one thing, but another thing started that I noticed last year, really when the start of the 2025 product took place. Every year with the NFL, a rookie quarterback gets drafted. In 2024, it was Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams. I'm missing one, and I know I'm missing one, and I cannot think of it. 2025, Jackson Dart stuff exploded. His base card that is very, very common would sell to $5 to $10 on eBay. It was wild. It was so dumb. And in 2026, so far the top quarterback is going to be Fernando Mendoza, but things can and will change. Now, why am I telling you? Because if you didn't hit a Jackson Dart from last year's product, it was kind of a failure. Because suddenly, this hobby that I started into has turned into a business for everyone. Now, I know scalpers aren't a new concept. They've been plaguing the Pokemon community for years now. But they seem to also get into sports. And I hate it. They've recently took over One Piece. That stuff is through the roof. Now, in the sports card hobby, I don't know. You could technically do it with Pokemon, but it's more prevalent through sports cards. The same card breaks where you either buy a division, a team, or a player for whatever sport you're watching. So say you're wanting NFL card, you could buy the AFC West, the Chiefs in general, or you could just go straight for Patrick Mahomes. It depends on the breaker. And whatever product they were ripping, say you bought the Chiefs, every Chiefs card pulled in that break is yours. Good. You could hit really good, or you could get skunked, which means you got nothing. Now, I ran breaks on TikTok for a good year year and a half maybe. And a lot of people spent a lot of money to get a lot of nothing. It was kind of tough to see, tough to watch. And then if you don't hit, a lot of people on TikTok would want a refund. It's like I didn't hit, my kid bought it. Like, brother, we know that you bought it and you didn't hit it. Suck it up. You chose to gamble. Suck. It does, but that's on you, big dog. In 2026, another thing happened. Card shows exploded. Now, I'm not meaning in popularity. They've always been a thing. But I live in Arkansas. And last year, there were maybe 6 to 10 like prominent shows that one could go to. It was awesome. I loved going to card shows. I got paid a lot of the time because I had set up, but I liked looking around, see if I could pick up a few things here and there. But this year alone in 2026, there seemed to be one every weekend, if not every other weekend. And working for a business, say you ran a business, you had to pay me to go set up at a card show. You got to pay the table fee. You got to pay for the gas to get there. And people weren't spending enough money to make card shows profitable. And for a LCS, a business, you have to be profitable. So, card shows kind of died for us. It's good for the consumer, yes. But say you see this $100 card, and you're like, there's a show next week. I'm going to go see if they have it cheaper there. This isn't sports card related, so bear with me. But recently, I was on eBay because I wanted this one card, and it's a sick card, and I almost bought it because it was like $170. And I'm like, whatever, I'll buy it. But I didn't buy it. And I go to my local store that's not the one I worked at, and I picked up. Look at that. And it was cheaper in store. But with eBay and other online platforms, it's so easy just to buy the card. It was $170 online. I'm like, let me think about the purchase before I make it. But I walk in to my local Poke shop, Poke Ventures, shouts out, and I'm like, they let me buy it. And it was actually cheaper in person. And it's an oversaturation of the market. And it kind of ticks me off because I am losing a job I did enjoy. And now I have to find an actual job. But with breaks, even abundance on TikTok, whatnot, Fanatics.com, whatever, every live streaming service has breaks. Even famous people are getting into it. Recently, a couple months ago probably, I saw that Karl Anthony Towns of the New York Knicks, of the NBA champions, New York Knicks, announced that he was starting his own breaking company profile, whatever, called Bodega Breaks. And Fanatics were backing him. And now I have nothing against Big Purr. But it's like, screw the little guy, right? Because I can't get anything. We can't get anything from Fanatics. We can't get our customer things, so they have to go over here. And it just sucks. I think Fanatics and Topps is slowly ruining the hobby. Because prices are going to keep going. Hits are going to go down here. Because you see people post online like, oh, it's this. They never show you the things they don't hit. Recently, this is again with Pokemon. Fuck. I need to open with. I kind of stopped buying sports cards. I buy Pokemon now. But I opened a $200 box of Silver Tempest. I didn't hit. I'm not posting online. It just, I think the sports market is destined to crash. I think we are at its peak, but eventually it will burn in flames. And I will blame Fanatics and Topps until I die. That's just me ranting. First it was Dwayne, now it's Topps. Fuck. Who's next?